What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I first want to apologize to primarily Diva Queen Lopez, and thank you as well for the link that you sent me with regard to the H&M mother, that heifer. Indeed, I did do a video about it, but I was trying to put something else in there on the video. I did 3 videos, hated them all, and just said I scrap it. I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. In short, I will just tell you that I think that, you know, there's different levels of exposure, even in this country. She's Kenyan and lives in Sweden, and so sometime, you know, if you live in the South, you have more of a realistic and probably more even experiences with racism, and so your sensitivity is higher and things like that, versus if you live in, you know, Hawaii or California or something where they just, you know, so I just, because this isn't what the video is about, but I just want to quickly say that I think that I come down on the side of, that's what I think. You know, maybe she just don't know, but that still doesn't give her a pass on the way she responded to the public, because she has to know. I don't know. It's complicated. It's not complicated. Strike that. I'm over her. But anyways, I wanted you to know that I had done videos on it, and but the video wasn't just about that. So it was a longer video, and I just scrapped it, you know. Also, quickly to my If Loving You Is Wrong family, I did do a video about that last week, and I saw the playback, and while it was very, very funny and it was an excellent review, I hated the way I looked. Because it was late and I just looked like some bullshit. And you know, when you put a video out, it's going to be out there in perpetuity, unless, you know, your channel is shut down or something like that, and even then somebody could have saved it, you know. So anyway, yeah, what else did I need to just announce here at the beginning before we get into the information? So I'll have those reviews for you tonight, and, you know, this week and the weeks going forward, God willing. You know, when the Harvey Weinstein thing first broke, everybody, I could have cared. I was off the air after the shutdown of the channel, and even had I been on the air, I didn't really care. I just didn't care. It was just another thing, you know. Obviously, it was hard to avoid it or ignore it because they were making that the headline of everything. So I knew about it. And then the subsequent charges on different people, Russell Simmons, Tavis Smiley, but then mostly white people, comedians and all that. And my initial thoughts that began to develop after it got to that point was what a big dust up that white people made over Michael Vick, as if he had as if he had murdered somebody. And we're talking about fucking dogs. I need to remind white people, and all people, quite frankly, but especially white people, because y'all are more in love with animals than you will ever be with black people. If you cared as much about African people, or had as much respect for African people as you have for fucking animals, there might be a little bit of progress in this bitch. But they acted as if he had murdered somebody, and that was concerning. But I mention him because then when Bill Cosby, and we know how they feel about OJ, let's not even go there, but when Bill Cosby was insinuated, then they jumped on that. Because you are the guiltiest people on the earth. And what I know from person to person in my life from dealing with white people, and what I see how you express yourself as a whole in your society, in your media, and all of that, is you love, absolutely love, and need for there to be another perpetrator of something, or you will, even if there's not, you try to make a false equivalent of something so you can feel good about an evil that you've done. And you've always done this. Even with the greatest genocide and the greatest oppression of any people ever in civilization that you have done and continue to do to African people, you try to justify that by saying, well, they sold you into, your own people sold you into slavery, or there's always been slavery. And none of that is true. None of it's true. None of it is true. So we have to look at these pathologies, and you don't have to like it, but if you don't want to hear the truth, you should never listen to me, because I'm not one of these apologetic black men that try to make you feel cozy and included. I don't give a fuck. The truth is the only thing that matters to me, and the truth indeed is the thing that would be the liberator in all of this. But you're not a people capable of truth and righteousness. You're just not. So when we get to Bill Cosby, there's this reaction, and take his show off the air and all of that. All those people knew they were guilty. They knew the sea of white predator, I don't know how to conjugate the word, but the sea of white predators that was out there that they thought would never be brought to light. They knew. They knew. They absolutely knew. And, you know, there's a saying, he protesteth too much. You see, sometimes you can make so much noise about something that actually implicates your own guilt on that thing, you know. So that's what I saw with the Harvey Weinstein thing, and then just the truckload of white people just at every level just coming out. So-and-so's got to step down. So-and-so's got to get fired. So-and-so's got to be taken out of their movie. So-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And now we're seeing this this evolution, really, because you need to start having some black faces. You need that out of your own sickness as a culture, as a people, as what we've seen from you historically and currently. So suddenly then it was Russell Simmons. And then it was Tavis Smiley. When historically and currently, black people and other races on the earth are not sexual predators. We're not deviants in sex. You know, you're the ones that develop the whips and the chains and the anal sex and all the stuff that just pollutes. Because that's the nature of your people, is you pollute everything, including the environment on the earth. You see, we have to be able to accept and know this. We have to, you see. And the habit of white people is, just because you hear something and somebody says white people, then you immediately feel targeted. If you're not guilty, you don't have shit to worry about. Because you can sit up here and talk about black crackheads all damn day. I'm not a crackhead. I'm never have no problem with it. I'll just add some shit to what you're saying. Like, yeah, and you forgot to say this too, you see. But you are so fragile, you see, because of the guilt. The guilt, the guilt, the guilt, the guilt. And so we started seeing that there needed to be these brown faces being put on this to make it just, oh, it's a thing. Now, let's bring it to the final crescendo, I will call it. The speech by Oprah at the Golden Globes, which I didn't know the Golden Globes were even on. I was up for 4 awards this year. To my show review crew, y'all will get that. I was actually up for 4 awards this year, but last minute I wasn't able to make the show. But anyway, so the big crescendo by the Messiah, Oprah. And I was over that. I love Oprah. You guys know that. I love Oprah Winfrey. I don't really think there's going to be anything Oprah's going to be able to do that's going to just tear her draws completely with me. I don't think so. Because I love her story. I respect her as a woman. what emanates from her to my very core is her power, her strength, her femininity, her wisdom, uh, her magnitude as a soul. You know, this is before you get to her physical beauty. Like, that's last, you know. Oh, and she's very wealthy and all that. That's all last. You know, I love her, and I love that she absolutely came from nothing. Her power is even in her walk. If you just watch her walk, the way she walks is powerful, you know. So this isn't about hating Oprah at all. I'm just saying, and I'm not even surprised, and I would expect Oprah. She got the Cecil B. DeMille Award. I would expect, she's Oprah. Of course, she's going to speak on that. You know, she's not a remiss woman, and so this is the issue of the day. She's in that industry. Oprah's going to speak on that like no one else, and she did. But I say I was over it because just the fact that it was necessary and predictable, you know. And then it became did you see Oprah's speech? Oh my God, it was Oprah's speech. Oh, and then the fake white, you know, that makes me sick, you know. So I wanted to lay foundation. Everything that I've said to you up to now, I just laid foundation. Do you understand? When you go into court as a lawyer, any legal argument you're going to have, you lay foundation, you know, for evidence, testimony, whatever, you know. If it's in preliminary hearings, then it's decided what's going to come in, what's not, what's going to be heard by the jury, what isn't, and these things. Foundation. And usually when I do my videos, you guys that have been with me forever know that I usually lay foundation. You see, I'm an intellectual, I'm an effective and serious speaker. So when I'm communicating a point, it's important that I get the parameters. You know, it's like you're going to fix potato salad. You get everything out on the counter. This is what I'm going to use for my potato salad. This is what's going on. So I wanted to lay foundation to give you the color of what is present. And then to give you my feelings and findings on all of this. I don't give a damn about the whole METO movement and hashtag. And while I can empathize with some of, not a mathematical term, some, S-O-M-E, not S-U-M. While I can empathize with some of the victims if I know their individual stories, which I do not. So I will just gratuitously say that while I probably will be willing to agree and support some of them, in the argument that I'm going to lay out to you now, I don't forgive any of or feel sorry for any of them, and I'll tell you why. And I also, before I say that, I want to say I also resent as an African how the biggest victims in this fucking nation 24 hours a day around the clock are African people at any moment of the day or night. But we always have these spring up victims and everybody's supposed to rally around them and feel bad for them. And there's a movement and there's money and there's a cause and there's celebrities and all of it, you see? And thusly then when you don't agree with that or you question it, then you're supposed to be ostracized and you're a bad person. Fuck that. There is First Amendment in this bitch and I'm going to exercise it. And I want to say this. The society is getting what it deserves. If you put forth a certain action, you're going to get a certain result. You see, garbage in, garbage out. So, in this society, they have a saying. I want you to finish the sentence. And I want you to type it in the comments if you got it. The sentence is that I want you to finish is sex. What's the end of the sentence? Sex sells. That's a motto. That's a mantra. That's a standard in their society. You see, sex sells. And then they also have this thing of every time you turn on a talk show or a morning show or Good Morning America or something like that, there's always some new fashion for women, some new bra that will push you up more, and some butt lift, and something that makes you more sexy and makes you more you empowered. That word makes me sick. It makes you empowered, and all of this, and I'm over it. First of all, sex does not sell, all right, unless you are selling sex. Do you understand? So, and that would be your prostitute du jour. You see, your red light district, you know. But sex does not sell me a damn thing. You know, you want me to buy a Maserati or something, there's some naked bitch on it. I don't go, oh, I have to go buy that Maserati because the naked bitch was on it. That does nothing, you know, or a hamburger or anything, you know. It's always some naked bitch. And usually when they say sex sells, that usually connotes some objectification of women. There's billboards, Victoria's Secret billboards, where you see women in just bra and panties in this society. You see? That's always some objectification of women when they say sex sells. We even see, since at least the 90s, where, you know, two women together is allegedly a man's greatest fantasy. No, a man who likes to see two women together is a homosexual man. Doesn't matter if the homosexual is coming from women, it's still homosexuality. Period, the fucking end, and we make no distinction. You see? And that's not a man's greatest fantasy. You see? Because no man can satisfy any two women equally at the same time. Even if he's going from one to one, at some point when he climaxes, he's going to have to choose one. So she's going to be left out. You see? So that's not true. But this sex sells usually means women, naked women are used to sell. And I say to you that what's really going on is the sexualization of the society is, and certainly women wearing nothing all fucking day. Cleavage this, tight that, ass this, titties that. It's too much, you know? But what it serves to do is it keeps men in some degree of sexual arousal, you see? And we think about dumbing down of a society in general, then when men are in a state of arousal, they don't think as clearly. We just don't. We just don't. You understand? It's almost a temporary insanity to some degree. So men are walking around at some degree of sexual arousal during the course of a day. Because maybe you start out with your morning wood and then you get rid of that, and then now you're going about your day, and then some bitch goes past you, you're going into the damn Walmart and she's wearing nothing, and then there's some bitch on a box or a magazine in the store, and oh my god, and then, you know, then there's a billboard, and then there's a commercial on TV, and you know, so there's always some state of arousal being provoked for men in the society. Now you get on your job and you come in smelling like lavender and flower fields and shit, and some cleavage and something that's fitting the form of your body, and you have a man who doesn't have any self-restraint and self-control, and now you have the recipe coming together. Hot oven meets wet cake equals baked cake. Done. You see? So I am a Muslim, and when Christians, my people, I don't care about nobody else other than African people, when my people begin to understand that the final and true pure revelation from the Creator is the Quran, that Islam is the way of life for mankind, because there's only been one revelation, one creation, one God. That is your Trinity. It's not the Father, Son, the fucking Holy Ghost. It's not. One revelation, one creation, one God. God has been telling us the same thing since he put us here. And what you call religion is something foreign to the Muslim. What the Muslim practices is their whole way of life, from birth to death, from day to night. Everything about your life has been outlined for you clearly in words from God. Everything. Everything. But you don't know that. You don't know that. Because they have you wrapped up in this fake doctrine called Christianity, which has no way of life. There's no way of life for a Christian. The most you're going to get out of a Christian is maybe they don't drink and maybe they don't smoke and they don't cuss. Other than that, they do every fucking thing else that is against God. And I'm going to tie that to this whole Me Too crap. Tamara Mowry, who I love. She's one of the girls on my favorite talk show, The Real. She is saved, filled, sanctified, and anointed, and I believe her to be a pious and kind and sincere woman in her faith. I absolutely. But she's always sitting there talking about how she turns up and how she drinks wine. She loves, in fact, they even own vineyards and all of it, her and her husband. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You see? And she was dating before she was married, and she had premarital sex and all of it, you know. And she talks about when she had lost her virginity. I'm just using her as one example. But I use this to say that there's nothing that sets the Christian apart from the non-believer, other than maybe just a couple things, and they go to church on Sundays and Bible study on Wednesdays, and they sing in the choir or something like that, or they're on the praise board of the praise team. But what you need to understand is God has said to mankind in the Quran, that which is wicked will be made to seem normal to them. That which is wicked will be made to seem normal to them. We see this prophecy fulfilling itself right now, and have for many, forever, because you can't tell. This will seem foreign to Christians. Christians listening to me right now can't believe this, because that which is foreign, that which is wicked is normal to you. You've been deceived, and you don't know God's true revelation. You just don't. You just don't. You just don't. So how that ties into all of this hashtag Me Too crap is because our women as Muslims cover a woman's form, even what she wears. Even if she's not wearing hijab, she can't wear clothes that show her form. So even if she doesn't want to wear the burqa or the niqab or the hijab, she can still wear clothing, just regular, whatever she wants to wear, but it cannot show her form. You see? Because God is all-knowing, all-wise, and He created all of us. And He knows that the man will be in a state of arousal, and when he's in arousal, he can't think. And God's instructed me as a man, I'm supposed to be a protector and a provider for women. You understand? Not an objectifier of women. He's also instructed me that to lower my eyes, to lower the gaze. You see? So you never see a Muslim man doing all this to a woman and, you know, trying to see if she got, how fat is the ass and our titties. And no. We see her and that's it. That's it. That's it. Because a woman is only supposed to be seen by her husband and her family. That's it. You're not related to her, you should not be seeing her at all. As Muslims, it's not even proper to shake the hand or touch a woman who's not related to you, who's not your wife. Why would you touch her? No, I don't need to shake your hand out of respect. Because that man, and God being all wise, knowing, and He's past, present, and future, knew that there would be a time in civilization where this would be the case. So maybe that would have been harmless back at the time of the prophets. But now, some heifer walks up to you and they're wearing Victoria's Secret or Chanel cologne or something, and then her hand is really soft, and you've been seeing sexual images all damn day that we talked about already. And then that soft hand touches you, and that voice, nice to meet you, and you some saying, quick attack. So God has provided for this. This is why even in the mosque, the men are not with the women, because the very scent of a woman can be distracting to a man. The very scent of a woman can be distracting to a man. You see? So this is what you have reaped. This is what you've sown in your society, and so now you're reaping it. You're reaping it. You're reaping. We just have to put this in hard-ass truth. You are reaping what you have sown. Women have to understand, if you want to be respected, being respected is not flaunting your sexuality all fucking day, 24 hours a day, and finding out how you can be more sexy. Fuck that. Find out how you can be more demure and more intelligent and more powerful and more covered the fuck up. Period. The damn end. Because when you see a Muslim woman, you don't get anything sexual from her. Anything. There's even YouTube videos where they had a Muslim brother of mine, he had this one sister walk all around New York in just what y'all ass normally wear. And the comments that she got were like what you would expect. Then they went back the next day or a couple days later, and she was in full hijab like a regular Muslim would be. And she walked that same route. And she got nothing but respect. Our women are respected. And indeed, the woman is respected when she respects herself and she displays herself in a way that commands and demands respect. When you are walking around in fucking nothing, you are going to get what you put out. Period. The damn end. Period. Just before I sat down to do this video, I see that this guy from India, this Aziz Ansari guy, is being he went on a date with a chick. They liked each other. They went on a date, and they went back to his place. They had sex and this, that, and that. Now here this bitch is coming out. I'm sure it's a white bitch. I'm sure of that. She's coming out now saying he didn't even though we had sex and it was consensual, he didn't understand my nonverbal communication. Fuck that. Now you're supposed to be a mind reader? No, bitch, you need to open your mouth and say no. But before that, you shouldn't even have to say no. You're not, because Muslim men, we can't be alone with a woman unchaperoned. Do you understand? If I'm interested in you, we can go out, but I can't touch you and we can't be unchaperoned. Because God knows temptation. And there is no premarital sex with the Muslim. There is no dating for just the sake of dating. You date for the purpose of saying, are you the one I'm marrying? And that's a short process, depending on the people. Once you get that process done, either we know we're it or we're not. If we're not, I'm done with you because I'm seeking a wife and you're seeking a husband. So you go on your way and I go on my way. In peace. You see, if we are the ones, then now we decide, well, when we get married, when we can do it. Let's do it. You see? But normally it's going to be very quick because that woman, when she's engaging, she's ready to be married. And so is that man. And that means he's got his coin up and he's got his shit together. He's ready now. So it's going to go very quickly. I mean, you could be like, okay, us. And then a month later, you could be married. Even shorter. You know, especially if it's somebody that you've seen in your mosque and maybe you had seen them and you kind of knew their family or something like that. I mean, there's different scenarios. But we don't have that. And when you follow the way of life that God has ordained for you, and not trying to say you holy, but you're going to do everything man does, because that's a fucking contradiction. You don't get to mix the two. That's why Islam means submission. You see, you change everything about your religion to fit you. I don't have to do this. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. You see? You're supposed to submit to whatever God has said to you. So even though that Bible is some bullshit and Christianity is a joke, if you just even live by what is there, you'd be better off. Because I mentioned Tamara Mowry earlier, and Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, said, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until I have ascended to the Father's kingdom. Jesus did not drink no wine, everybody. He didn't. No prophet drank wine. It's always been forbidden. Remember, one revelation, one creation, one God. God don't change shit up. Well, I'm going to tell this civilization one thing. And then I'm going to tell you guys something else. And then you guys, I'm going to tell something else. No, no. God is forever and always. And he's not like you and me. When he decrees something, he means it. Period. There is no coming back later and going, oh wait, I want to change that. If you believe that, then you don't know the Most High. You don't. I don't give a fuck who you think you are or what you think you know. I'm telling you, you don't know the Most High. I tell you, you don't. You understand? So this is what you've brought on yourself in the society. This is what you've brought on yourself. Where this, you go to Malaysia, which is one of the most densely, which is the biggest Muslim nation. And that's not necessarily true because Somalia is but anyways, but I mentioned Malaysia because if you go there, you see women in business, you see women, blah, 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 blah. It's all Muslim. And you see how the society is. You see? You have the wrong concept of existence. You have the wrong concept of what it is to be a woman and what it is to express yourself as a woman. What you should be highlighting and what you don't need to. When I see a Muslim woman, I don't see anything but her wisdom, her power, her femininity, her mothering, I even see how I'm almost beneath her. You know? Her presence is so magnanimous when it's just her womanness. You just want to bow, you know, because she is a woman. Because she is a woman, she's the giver of life. You know? And in Islam, you must understand, you know, women, y'all Christian folks, had a whole women's lib movement, and you're still fighting for equal pay and this and the third. Well, that's not really an issue with Muslims because Allah already established the equality of women and their rights nearly 1,500 years ago, but you don't know that because you're reading the wrong fucking book. So you don't know that. You can't find something where it doesn't exist, everybody. You can't. You can't. And as I always say, one of my biggest mantras in life is if you want something you never had before, you've got to do something you never did before. If women really want to be liberated and all that, they're going to have to act like women. And not think that you have to always be turned on and some turn-on machine for men and that you've got to compete against other women all the damn time. You need to be over that shit. But to my women, our women, African, queens, I say to you as I've said to you before, get on your damn throne and you don't step down at fucking all. You don't even look down. You don't even look down. You understand? There's no such thing as a gold digger. There isn't. There isn't. Women are supposed to have what they want. God has decided that. That's not from the Jedi. That's from the creator of the heavens and the earth. That a woman can sit on her ass and do absolutely nothing all damn day if she chooses to, simply because she is a woman. And if she chooses to work, your man is not entitled to a single dime of your fucking income. Period. And you don't have to have our dinner ready when we get home. And if you do, we almost want to bow to you and say, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Thank you so much for being kind enough to fix my dinner. Thank you. Thank you. Anything she does is a blessing. She don't have to do shit. The woman's anointed. Do you understand? She's anointed. She's anointed. And why wouldn't she be? Allah has chosen her to be the vessel through which all life shall enter the earth. You see? All life. After God has decreed it, and the angels have answered the call, and then Allah breathes the ruh into that soul, gives it life and determines its destiny, then that woman is chosen and that life comes forth through her. She is the only vessel on earth through which we come. Think about that shit when you put on your next fucking two-piece bathing suit, bitch. Does that represent your high status with the Creator? Or some Kool-Aid colored fucking weave? Does that say, I am anointed by God? Because I don't think it does. Let me think. No, it doesn't. No, let me give it deep thought. No, it doesn't. So I'm over the hashtag #MeToo crap. The society is reaping what it has sown. And if they want something different, they're going to have to do something different. It's that simple. It's that simple. There's going to have to be a decorum. No, you can't date on your fucking job. You don't need to date. Because why are you dating? Somebody says, I like you. Oh, do you want to marry me? Oh, you don't? Then bye-bye. I'm sorry. Why would I date you? What's that about? You see? Animals don't date, everybody. We see this even in nature. Nothing in nature dates. Nothing in nature dates. Why are you dating? A date. Just to be dating. Or no, we're talking. That one really takes me. We're talking. That usually means you having sex and kissing and doing all the thing, you know. Women need to stop putting themselves in these positions with men. And if at the very least that can't be avoided, women need to cover the fuck up. Period. The damn end. That's what I want to say on that. I could say a lot more. But I'll end that part of the video by saying to my women, whom I love and care about only, who nurture and strengthen me, I'm not even present without you. And though I come from a family mostly of women, there's 9 children, 5 of those are girls. And I was raised by my grandmother. I don't even need to count them when I talk about the support, the nurturing, the education that I've gotten from women, our women, throughout my life and continuously even now, you know. I told you guys when I came back that there have been a lot of things that have gone on in my life recently, and there's some things that I didn't talk about and I won't. But I will tell you this, that I went through a really, really tough several weeks. And who was there for me? Black women, African queens. You are the rock of the universe, the star of my life, and I love you so much, and that's not gonna change. And any of y'all niggas out there with that feminist bullshit, fuck you, and go kill the bitch that kill you and the bitch that gave birth to you, because you don't deserve to live. If you don't understand the basic natural inclination of the reverence you should have for our women and want everything for them and celebrate them in all of their glory, then you're not a man. You're not. And you don't understand what a man is, and you definitely don't understand what a woman is. Because when you understand what a woman is, you treat her like a woman, and you want her to have what a woman should have. You see, I love you, black women. I love you so much, and I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for being who you are. You're my reflection, and you're not only the source of my life, you're the source of my strength and guidance, and you are my purpose in life. I love you. 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 Wow. That's from the heart. You have to know that. You have to know that. So I want to talk about this Trump business. We are not surprised, and we indeed would expect this. My challenge is to white people to say to you, why don't you get out a piece of paper or indeed a ledger, because you're going to need you need a very thick ledger, something like a few thousand pages. And every day, I want you to just turn on your MSN page or whatever you use for your news page, or YouTube or whatever. And I want you every day to write down yet another thing that somebody white has done to insult, to denigrate, to attack, or to assail an African person. Because see, when you start looking at the real numbers, you start realizing your ass is the fucking provocateurs. We're not doing a goddamn thing to you. Unfortunately. Nobody's doing a goddamn thing to you. But every day you're picking. It's a kid in a classroom. It's a teacher that made the black students do this. It's some bitch at a restaurant. It's Trump. It's always something. It's a police that shot us down. It's something. It's every goddamn day. Every day. Every day. It's you. So don't take my word for it. I'm an African. I must be a liar in your eyes. So you just write it down for yourself, and you'll see every goddamn day it's something. Every fucking day. And so why should this be any different? You have a white devil who is the president. that you elected out of your abject ignorance and your jealousy, because Obama represented to you everything that you said you wanted America to be. Everything that I ever read about a president coming through school, in my government class in high school even, Obama was it. But he was everything that represented America, but he had a black face, and that's a problem for you because of your abject jealousy and envy and your recognition of your inferiority to everybody on the earth. That's the truth. Even the sun doesn't like you. I go in the sun and I get vitamin D. Automatically, my body creates vitamin D. It's a healthy thing for me. If I'm ever vitamin D deficient, I just go stand in the sun. You go out there, you get melanoma. How is it you're the only thing on the earth that the sun doesn't like? Everything is two things we need on earth: sunlight and water. Plants can't even go through photosynthesis if there's no sunlight. How is it that you can't be in the sun? How is it that I hear rhythm and you have to count? What's that? What's that? And maybe you don't have to feel bad about that, but that should connote to you that we're not the same. So stop buying into this fiction that we're all the same, we bleed the same. No. So you cut a giraffe's neck and it spews blood the same way mine would. So that's a flat argument. It means nothing. We're different. We're different. I'm not the same as the Asian. I'm not the same as the Indian. I'm not the same as your white ass. I'm not the same. You understand? I'm an African. I'm an individual. I'm a different species of human being than you. Period. Even my cell structure testifies to that. Even my bone structure. When they do my DNA, they dig me up in 10,000 years. They'll say this was an African melanated male. They will know that. They won't know that I was good looking and I was a model and I was highly intelligent. That won't come through, unfortunately, in the testing. But I digress. So you need to understand that we're not the same. You need to understand that. So you have this white devil in the White House who speaks for you. Because no black people were at his rallies, except for those that went there to confront racist-ass white people. And the one or two coons that he could point and say, look at my one black friend. So don't act like there was this sea of black people in any of his shit. There was not. None of us were there. None of us. And any of the one or two that were there, literally one or two, we don't claim them anyway. So there was no African people at any of his shit. So he is a white president for white people. Period. The damn end. And so, why wouldn't he speak the truth? I can respect that. That I do respect about this man. Because many years ago, I lived in Arkansas. And what I definitely appreciated is being called nigger every day at fucking school. I went to Lynch Drive School, homie, before I went to Central Junior High School. Yes. Lynch Drive, bitches. You walk in, the fucking little southern bitch at the desk, you'd hear at the switchboard, good morning to you, Lynch Drive. Good morning to you, Lynch Drive. Good morning to you, Lynch Drive. I'd hear that every fucking day. I'm an African dude. Walking past this shit every day. I'm over it. And having dead snakes thrown on me and getting in fights every day. And you can see I won every single one of them because there's not a scratch on this face. Know this. But I appreciate when white people that don't like us just say your shit. Just say it. Stop with the fake channels on here with no picture. Just put up your 8x10 glossy and just call me all the names you want to. I can actually respect that, actually. You know? That's fine. But you are a coward and a bitch and a beast. And so therefore you hide in the shadows. Trump, you say, I just like the fact that he tells the truth. You like the fact that he's saying out loud what you really feel in your heart. That's what you like. That's what you like. So just say that. Trump speaks for me. Just say that. Just say that. So, of course, he would denigrate and call shitholes the countries that, when this is the only shithole, this is the asshole of Satan. You understand? There's no resource here. Nothing is here. All of the great resources come from outside of this fucking shithole, and most of them come from melanated countries, particularly the continent of Africa. Do you understand me? Every cell phone, tell this to your white kids, every cell phone, every television, every Bluetooth, every anything electronic, every television, none of that shit is possible without just one of the minerals that comes out of the Congo, known as coltan. I did a whole thing about it. There's a mineral called coltan. One of the reasons why it's so significant is it prevents our electronics from overheating. You understand? Because, you know, that's the big thing with electronics. How do you keep them cool? How do you keep them cool? So if you got a laptop, you got a PC, you got a television, you got a phone, you got anything, goddamn it, your ass, a car, don't exist without fucking coltan. It doesn't. But these are the shitholes, everybody, huh? These are shitholes. They're all shitholes. They're all shitholes. It's all shitholes. According to fucking Trump, who looks like a shithole. Can I just add that? He looks like a shithole. You see? But we all have an appointment with the grave. You know, Christians don't talk about death a lot. Muslims are absolutely reminded of it round the clock, 24 hours a day, because the Quran constantly speaks about death and dying and the hereafter. So we understand we have an appointment with the grave, and one day Trump will be in a shithole, as will all the white people who have been evildoers and who have co-signed on evil in this lifetime. Life is like this, but the hereafter is forever. Forever. And Allah says to mankind in the Quran that in hellfire, every moment will be as the first. Will be as the first. Will be as the first. You think about when you first, just think about even something simple like you nick your foot on the end of on your bedpost or something. You go, oh! Then you wait for the pain to come, like, oh, there it is. Oh. But it subsides. Imagine that stays in infinity. Just even that. But we're talking about hellfire, which is hotter than anything that man can hotter than anything man can conjure. Forever. Forever. And by contrast, Allah says to mankind that paradise is something that you can't even conjure. You can't even conjure it. He's not even put it in your realm of ability of thought. It's unavailable to you. You have no agency to it at all. At all. Anything you would talk about, dream about, think of, it not. You can't. You don't even have access to it. At all. It's not anywhere in your realm. So, Trump is the racist, but now, instead of you being contrite and saying, you know what, we were wrong as white people who were against Obama, we should have really appreciated his presence on the earth. Indeed, he was miraculous and divine, and we were wrong for even fucking saying one bad thing about him. But now, this is what you get. This is what you get. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last, and your day of reckoning is at hand. Your decline is in effect. So what I hear from Trump is what I hear from most white people who would talk like that. Desperate. Desperate. Angry and desperate. This is how he gets attention. Obama got attention just by being regal and smart and brilliant. You see what I'm saying? And effective, bitches. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything. Has not done anything. And his claim to fame is a daily tweet and statements like this. Well, let us know this, everybody. The only people who even if he wants to call these countries shitholes, at least they got a shithole, which they don't. But I'm saying, follow me on this. I'm making a sarcastic thought. At least they got a shithole. You see what I'm saying? Because even the natives that were here had a very nice shithole that the white devil wanted so bad that he came here and killed off over 139 million natives from coast to coast, and now would dare to call any land outside of this a shithole when you sit on stolen land drenched in the blood of slaves and natives from this land? Huh? White people have a whole bunch of fucking gall. You live in a fantasy world. You don't know what reality is. Because you don't like reality. Because reality and truth are kind of like brothers and sisters. They're kind of joined at the hip. You don't like the truth and you don't like reality. So you just make up shit in your mind and go, that's what reality is. You even have a statement in the society called, that they say, that goes, perception becomes reality. No, bitch. Perception is like you're fucking fantasizing. Reality is fucking reality. But this tells you, this is why I would say to my people, language matters. I'm someone who loves languages. I'm a very good listener, you know? So you have to be able to listen and hear down. Listen down. Listen down, you see? Listen down. While I'm on the subject of language, I'll tell you something else I absolutely fucking despise in the society that has become the norm. I notice how they roll out things and then people just take it and run. Here's what I hate. I hate now every time somebody's asked a question, they start with so. That makes me want to stab them through the eyes with a fucking heated pitchfork. Such. So, no. And I see my people doing the shit too. So you say, how did you come up with such and such? Or why did you say, so? Tell me what happened at the scene of the murder. So. Everybody's starting with that so shit. That burns my ass to crisp. Do you understand me? There's another one. I block things that I hate, even people. So I can't think of the other one right now. So I'll probably end up sharing it with you at a later time or something like that. I don't want to just sit here trying to think. But I really do block things and people that I hate. Like, I just do. Once I'm over you, I don't remember you at all. Me and my brother, he's not the next sibling, but he's the next boy. And for 6 years, we didn't talk, and we only talked that after that 6-year period, briefly, because one of my sisters had gone to visit him, and she was trying to make this reunion thing happen, and fuck her. And I didn't remember anything about him. I didn't remember his phone number. I didn't remember his address or anything. Once I'm over you, I'm over you. Because I have one journey through life. And I can't have that energy on me. Once you've shown me that you have no value to my life, and indeed you're a takedown or some kind of a drag on my life, or we don't have the proper energy space or the proper love for one another or anything, then you're trash on the side of the road. I drive away. I don't need it. I'm done. I've always been good at closing doors. Boom. Done. It's like you were never born. I never met you. I never knew you at all. I'm very good at that. And I prescribe that for everybody. You know, especially women, you know, like stop taking shit off of dudes. Stop it. Put your high heel down and dictate what it is that you expect and demand. And when they can't, not all this, but I still love him, and no, then you deserve whatever the fuck you get after that. And we don't feel bad for you. We can't. We have to be consistent. We can't. You step off the boat into the alligator pit, then that we can't feel bad for you. If you fell now, oh my God, we feel so bad for her. She fell. Look, she fell. She tripped on her fucking Ferragamo heel or something, or her Saint Laurent. That's not one of the words I hate, but I'm hearing that too much. I hate that. Everybody's Saint Laurent. I'm over that. I'm over it. That's random, but I'm over that too. All right. I may do a video just about things I'm over. About shit that I'm over. Anyway, so fuck Trump and the bitch that gave birth to him, and anyone that knows him and his entire family, and indeed his children. because they are grown now and they could object to this. And while I'm absolutely someone who believes in loyalty, I think that there are absolutely situations where you have to break that loyalty. And certainly, if you're one of the most visible people on the earth, and you're my father, and you're saying shit that is like out there, if we weren't famous and the whole world isn't gonna see it, I'll stand by you 100%. 100%. And then I would just chastise you behind closed doors. But like, you're making me look bad now, saying shit that doesn't even need to be said even. So I have to distance myself. You feel me? And so the fact that his children don't do that, then fuck them too, because silence is complicity. You see, as Dante said, the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in a time of moral crisis, maintain their neutrality. You see, they say it was Dante. It was probably an African that said it. So fuck Dante and the bitch that gave birth to him too. I'm over it. Over it. Over it. Don't want to get worked up in this video. And I think I've done a good job of not getting worked up, you guys, because y'all not get worked up. Especially about white people and race, I get worked the fuck up. But thankfully, I didn't have to get worked up in this video. So this is just the hard, fast truth, everybody. And I don't think you're going to hear this anyplace else. That's the truth on the Me Too bullshit and on Trump. Trump is a racist. He represents white people. This is their modus operandi and who they are and have always been since they ever encountered us. So we would not expect anything else from them. We just wouldn't. We just wouldn't. And while we hear the outcry, we don't see the masses of people in the streets, of just white people, having a problem with him. I don't see it. One or two people on a news desk talking shit, or on The View, or something like that, or on The Talk and all that kind of stuff. That's not a race of people having a problem with some shit. Like, you kill Mike Brown and we're all pissed off and ready to kill, you see? And across the nation, we're in the streets, you see? We've not seen anything like that from white people on any issue that affected anybody that wasn't them. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it. So they're all culpable in that regard, you see? Just because we can point to individuals, I'm sure there's individuals we can point to say, well, so-and-so said so-and-so, and they were saying the right thing about this. And you go, okay, that's fine, that's fine. But one or two voices does not a people make. You see, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. One layer does not make a 6-tier cake. It doesn't. You need all the other 5. You have to have them. You have to have them. You see? So you don't go, well, I brought 1 tier. You know, and it's like somebody's wedding, and y'all know how brides get. And they bring like 1 fucking layer, be like, you probably get stabbed. You probably get stabbed because you got that bridezilla thing going too. Oh my God. Anyway, so I only take up as much of your time as I think I need to in order to communicate what it is I'm communicating to you. I think I've done that in this piece. Again, my hat is off and kisses to you, Diva Queen. I love you, girl. And I'll see you soon. This is the Jedi.